And I told my dad, it's not all about money. This guy has potential. I think I was too naive and too young not to notice that I'm pushing my parents too hard.
Too hard, yeah.
And they have not blessed my marriage,
Yeah.
They're not blessing what I'm about to do.
So how was the wedding? Like, walikuja, parents showed up, everybody showed up?
My parents, actually, they never attended. I can't say he was born again.
Because you don't know.
That one now, I don't know. The way things turned out, that's the reason I'm saying I can't say that he was really born again. I remember I used to carry his tablet na gazeti. We are going to church. So, kama si backbencher, ako huko nje kwa parking. I remember there was a point, remember I'm a housewife now. There was a point I couldn't even afford that nylon pant for a baby. So what did I do? Nilirarua plastic bag. I have a husband who's working, who's driving. Yes. When I got my job, it didn't sync well with my husband. Hakufurahi. We were 6 years in marriage down the line. Imagine you're being told your father-in-law is not a biological father,
After 6 years.
After 6 years of marriage, plus 2.5 years of dating. Mtu anaongea na kitu na ukioni. And he gave me a warning. If I ever tell it to anybody, whatever he talks to will kill me. I called his mother to come. That was an emergency. And the mother came. And the mother confirmed to be true, to my surprise. And the mother was so happy and proud of the son. In fact, she came up with a name. Akasema, my son, akona mtetezi. Before they went to Mombasa, I remember he called me on phone and in our conversation, he asked me, kwa nini wewe unaomba hivyo?
Oh, okay. Hello viewers, welcome to MK Show, where stories are real, where you get to hear testimonies, you get to hear chilling stories in court, and you get to be challenged, and your thinking will be challenged. I'm your host, Mwenye Haki. You know me. You'll know me as we continue to talk, as we continue to see each other. Today I have a lady who wears many titles. She's a gospel artist. She's an entrepreneur. She's a mother. I mean, the list is endless. You know her and you know her story. But I don't want to preempt it. 1 year ago, she hit headlines. Newspapers, television, online shows, and the story was as great or as powerful as you will hear today. Please join me and welcome Miss Kiamba. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, to get you, it's quite a challenge.
Yeah, I know. My tight schedules.
Yeah, your tight schedules. And of course, you wear many titles.
Yes, I do.
As I said, you wear many titles. But it's good to have you here.
Thank you.
I remember a year ago about your story that was actually going around the media platforms, TV, newspaper, quite a story. I don't want to tell people because you're here. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you so much too for hosting me.
You're welcome. Would you kindly just start by introducing yourself, where you come from, how your background is, like just a little bit of yourself, then we can proceed with the meat part of the story.
Hello viewers, How are you? My name is Naomi Kiamba or Naomi MK kwa majina ya usanii. I am born again. I love Jesus Christ as my Savior. Yes, as my host has mentioned here, last year, my name was all over the socials and all the platforms regarding a certain story, a really painful story. And I saw it wise to be here and testify of what God has done in my life. Because I realized my life itself is a long story, journey full of testimonies. And in this show, I will be covering many titles which touches my story. I will cover about marriage, divorce, separation, brainwashing. For those who don't believe in adult brainwashing, it's there. Children brainwashing is still there. I will also cover suicide. I'm a living testimony, a suicide survivor. I don't know how many people out there are struggling. But my message to you this morning is to tell you, please, if you have that temptation of suicide, you feel like you want to commit suicide, please don't do it. God loves you so much. Imagine, 7 years ago, I would have died. I tried suicide. But here I am, giving a great testimony. I will also cover about custody of children in court when now marriage breaks. And now, you and your partner, you're there, you don't know what to do. You're fighting over the children. I will also cover that in my story because it's something that I've gone through, something that I've seen with my eyes. I will cover about murder. As you are aware, the story that was trending last year, it was regarding my late daughter's murder. So I will still cover that. I will also cover about forgiveness. In the whole journey, I've seen so many things. And forgiveness is a key for you to move on. So I will cover all those things and many other subtopics that probably I've not mentioned. So back now to start on how my growing up was like. Yes, I was born and raised in Makueni County by two beautiful people, my mom and dad. My dad was a teacher, a high school teacher, retired now. My mom was also a teacher, primary school teacher, retired now. And they are wonderful people. They gave me a good life. That's why I can sit today and testify. I have a sister, elder sister. I am the second born in the family and a younger brother. So we are 3 siblings. And my parents are still alive. My sister and my brother, they are all alive. I'm grateful for God to have blessed me and placed me in that family. So, my growing up was very, very interesting. Like of any other growing child, I come from a Christian family, so going to Sunday school was a must. I remember back in my days, Sunday school days, when I discovered that I can actually sing. We had a group of, we used to call it cadets. Cadet, it was a team of young girls, all ages, and we could play those tambourines as we sing. That's when I discovered I could actually sing. And back in those days, I used to tell God, when I grow up, I'll write songs and I will sing for you. Little did I know one day it will come to pass. And I'm grateful really to God. So yeah, I went to primary school, cleared class 8, joined high school, still in Makueni County. I'm an alumni of Mwani Girls. Mwani Girls alumni. Those who schooled with me back in those days. I cleared my Form 4 in 2006. So I know my face is not new to you. Yeah, so my high school life was just a normal life like any other child would go to school. And I gave my life to Christ fully when I was in Form 2, I remember. We used to have those weekend challenges. We used to call them weekend challenges, I remember, where the school would invite some preachers on a weekend, on a Saturday and Sunday. Then we'll do some preaching, singing. And yeah, we were told about God. And one day I gave my life to Christ when I was in Form 2. And I have never regretted giving my life to Christ, because that is what has kept me alive. Otherwise, if it wasn't for God, I even don't know where I would be. Probably I would be dead. Probably. When I committed that suicide, I would have died. God knows, but see how wonderful our God is. So yeah, that was my high school days. So I cleared Form 4 and came to this city of Nairobi in 2007. And I started my computer packages, I remember. Back those days, our results used to take like several months for them to be out. So I did my computer packages as I waited for my results to be out for me to now proceed with college life and campus life. So yeah, results were out. I went to college. After college, I got a job. I worked. Then later, I transitioned and moved to a certain company, organization, and I thought it wise to go back again to school. I'm also an alumni of St. Paul's University. Yeah, so I studied as I worked. And I am grateful because I've seen my life move from one level to another. Now, if you would allow me, I don't want to touch to how I got a man and we got engaged and we got married. But before then, allow me to let my host say something.
Yeah, so that's a good introduction. It seems like your childhood was yani godly.
Yes.
Yani it was godly. You come from a godly family. Unajua Mungu. It's not a struggle like kupenda Mungu.
Yeah.
But in life, sometimes life offers different things.
Yes.
And last year, your story hit headlines.
Yes.
And it was such very, very sad story. And I wonder how you went through that. And today, to see you seated here, I'm like, how did you actually, where did you get all that strength? And I mean, when I look at you, it's just see a testimony today. So please take us through how you met this guy. I don't want to say the name. How you came, you grew, you graduated, and how you desire to get married, and how this whole thing started and unfolded. Of course, it started as a nice stuff.
Yeah.
Nice marriage, wedding celebrations, all these things, and then how it turned out. So I'm gonna let you please break down to us how this and until tukakujulia kwa TVs, kwa nini. Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I know everyone is curious about that story. So surprisingly, I met this guy when I was in Form 2, but I knew him through my uncle. He actually used to come home with my uncle. those days he was in his college. Yeah, he was in college those days. He schooled with my uncle. So I just knew him as my uncle's friend and nothing more. I didn't know much about relationships when I was in Form 2. So now way later after I came to the city of Nairobi, then now this guy comes into my life when I was done with my college. And we started something. That was really great. And because of the way I was brought up, I grew up loving marriage because I used to see how my mom and my dad were living. Because I can't remember any day, any time when we were growing up, the way people, have challenges in marriage, and then now the wife leaves for some months or days and then she comes back. I've never seen my mother do that. So I grew up knowing marriage as a good thing. And now here I am. I'm now done with school and I have a job. And a guy comes into my life and I'm like, oh my God, I just want to have a wonderful family. I was pretty young. I remember we started a serious relationship when I was 19.
Wow.
Yes.
Just to interject, how was it when you went to tell your mom that you actually want to get married at 19?
It's funny because first I cleared my Form 4 when I was 17. I know you might wonder.
You were young.
I was pretty young.
Yeah.
And my brain was still young. I say that because I came to realize later my brain was pretty young.
Yeah.
Because I would have made a different choice if I was around 24.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, probably I would have made a different choice. So
for how many years did you date?
We dated for around 2.5 years.
Oh, that was around 21.
Yes, so I got married at actually 21.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I got married at 21 in a church wedding. And I was so determined to have a family, to settle, regardless of the age that I was. I was dreaming of having children. So actually, after the marriage, after the wedding, we got a son. But before I jump into the marriage, so I quoted this guy. He was a church guy. I remember he used to play bass guitar. See how music attracts music. He used to play a bass guitar in the church that I was going.
And you used to do worship.
I used to be in a choir actually.
Oh.
I used to be in a choir, and we had 2 choirs in that church, and there was a team. There was a certain team. We used to call it class 4 of dancers. I also used to dance. I don't know where those moves went. I'm a terrible dancer right now. So I used to dance, and I used to also be in the choir. So that's now when a relationship now grew stronger and stronger. And then we decided to get married. But let me tell you, I had never introduced a man in my family. Neither did my parents saw me have a boyfriend or maybe a guy I'm close to. That's how innocent I was. So my going home to tell my parents, now I've met this guy, I want to get married. It was terrible. It was terrible. I don't know if I did it wrong.
Maybe they looked at me and they thought, like, you're too young to think about marriage.
Yeah, at 21.
Your time.
Yes. Actually, my dad was really like,
Fukata.
My dad refused. And he called me aside and he was like, Naomi,
are you sure?
Wewe, hatujawahi jua hata uko na boyfriend. Then now you come from nowhere. You tell us you want to get married to this man. Then that said, the way he said it in Swahili, Si mtu hata anaambianga basi mama yake akona ka boyfriend mahali. Ndio mama anachunguza kidogo. You just coming and appearing with somebody and you tell us now you want to get married. So obviously my dad was against it, and he wanted me to go back to school. But I was feeling like my dad was too controlling, because my dad was very, very strict. By the way, my dad was very strict. He's changed now. He was very strict to us as children. But in the schools where he taught, the story was different. He was totally a different person. But to us, he was very, very strict. So there was that fear. I used to fear because I was very, very quiet. Nilikuwa ule mtoto mpole kwa familia. I was the calmest child in the family. So yes, nimepeleka mtu, nimesema now I want to get married. My dad has said no. I think you should go back to school and study something different.
So at that point ulikuwa ni campus, umemaliza high school?
Nilikuwa nimemaliza college.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, nilikuwa nimemaliza college. St. Paul I went later.
Okay.
Nilikuwa nimemaliza college. Nilikuwa into Nairobi Institute of Business Studies. I done NIBS. Nienda kufanya sales and marketing hapo. Although it's like my mind was not there, because I felt like my dad pushed me to do this course. And ni kama sikukuwa najielewa vizuri what I really wanted to be. But just to make my dad happy, my parents happy, and hiyo fear is a terrible thing. I just did it anyway. I did it. So because of how my dad was strict, I know.
You didn't say that you had a boyfriend.
No. I know Dad, you will be watching this. My family will be watching this now. Here are the secrets. Let me spill them out. Yeah, my dad was really, really strict. And because of that fear, I think I needed a guy who will fill in the gap of the dad. You know, me growing up, I was not close with my dad. Because of that strictness, yeah, I was covered with a lot of fear. Very, very, in fact,
is it a challenge maybe we should throw to the parents out there?
Yeah, actually, this is a discussion that we will bring up. Because some of this strictness inaweza fanya mtoto make some wrong moves. Yeah? Juu ya woga. Yeah. And I'm not here to blame anybody. I'm not here to blame my parents. My parents brought me up to the best of their knowledge. My parents brought me up well with the wisdom that God gave them those days. But the life we are living today, things are totally different right now.
I think it's a challenge also for us.
Yes.
Kama sisi tuko na watoto.
Yeah, it's a challenge for us.
Lenient and tutafute hiyo soft spot ya mtoto pia, a soft landing.
Yes.
Yeah, akikuja si tukute kaa tunakaa tu.
Yes.
Kumchapa.
Ukweli.
So yeah, so after you have gotten a boyfriend, you are getting married now. How was the wedding preparations? Were there hiccups, stuff kama hizo? Like, did you have, like, you were just head over heels in love? Yes, and
I don't know. I think there's a difference between love and being possessed.
Okay.
So I think I had both.
Okay.
I don't know if you've ever loved someone and it's like you are possessed. You feel like now you can't live without this person. That was me. Remember, I was really young, and those were back in the day. Si kama sasa hivi. Right now watoto wanajua vitu mingi. The kids are now exposed, you know.
Yeah.
Because if I grew in this generation right now that we are raising, I think I would have made a different choice. Okay. Yeah, so it was really a battle for me to convince my parents indeed lazima niolewe. Remember, mimi niko na fear hapa. It's like on the other end, I'm running away from my very strict dad. And now I'm hoping this guy I've gotten, he will play a role of a husband and someone and a dad at the same time. Someone I can open up and tell him everything that I've not been able to share. Yeah, so I remember my dad trying to send me to Nakuru to a certain school nifanye huko. I went and came back. Nikamwambia sijafaulu. I came back and I still pushed. So anyway, along the way, my dad akakubali. So he told me now to bring the guy home. So the guy comes home. The introduction bit is done. And now the wedding process starts. I remember that guy when we met. The job that he was doing, he was earning so little. Because I remember the first question that my dad asked was, huko mtaenda kukula mawe? That was the question. It was really a tough question. And I told my dad, it's not all about money. This guy has potential. Me, I've seen potential. I've seen someone who we can grow together, who can rise and get to that level. Because I remember that guy who was earning 30,000 and sasa ukitoa tax
30,000 it's not was
na kuna two deductions fulani tulikuwa tunakatwa hapo. He was going on with around 24,000. 24-20 hapo ilikuwa inachezea hapo. So it was a concern to my dad. Because the way I grew up I can't say I've ever lacked anything. Never lacked anything. I've never been sent home because of school fees. Yeah, so my growing up and now this man I'm bringing, it was
different.
It was totally different. But yeah, my dad, somewhere along the way, he was okay with it. Okay. I'm saying
he just said, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Endelea,
yeah.
But deep within,
hakuridhika.
So how was the wedding? Like, walikuja, parents showed up, everybody showed up for you?
This is a painful thing. I really have to say it on camera, but it's my story. So when we were, when you're planning a wedding, kuna kuanga ni hizo pre-wedding and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So, there's a pre-wedding that was held at this guy's place. Do you know my dad never came? My parents, actually, they never attended.
Wow.
In fact, I remember my dad, nikikuja kupikiwa hapo nje kwa gate, alitisha kiti, akaketi hapo. There used to be a very nice flower shed hapo. He sat there. So he watched me as I walked to that car, niende pre-wedding hapo. Oh my God. Yes, my dad was left home. My mom was left home. Sasa unajua, there's no way mama angenifuata ache bwana yake home, And I think I was too naive and too young not to notice that I'm pushing my parents too hard.
Too hard, yeah.
And they have not blessed my marriage,
Yeah.
They're not blessing what I'm about to do. I was so blinded of kitu inaitwa sijui love and possession. I think I had both. That's why I said I was in love, yes, but it's like I was possessed at the same time. Yeah, so my dad, they never went to that pre-wedding. But surprisingly, my wedding gown, actually, my dad bought it.
Wow.
My dad bought my wedding gown, and the food that was consumed in that wedding, it was from my parents' side. So now there's like a confusion there. It's like ni kama wanani release, but ni kama bado they're holding me back.
So you can say this what came about, like they are like kulikuwa na ugumu.
Yes. Yes.
And that reflected to your marriage.
Yes. I can say that somehow contributed.
Now you guys have already gotten married now.
Yeah.
Like how was the first few years or the first 1 or 2 years?
Actually, I remember before even the wedding, because the wedding was done in April. It was on 17th of April 2010. I remember. I could fast and pray. I was actually very tiny. I could fast and pray and tell God, please, if my parents are rejecting this man because of money, please grant him a job, a better job. And I saw God answer my prayers, because 2 months to the wedding, that guy got a very nice job where he works till today. He got a really nice job. So now we come to the wedding, we get married, and now life changes. We transitioned from now, that suffering and stuff like that. We started now rising. Na nikaanza kuona Mungu ako hapa kwa hii ndoa, you know.
But both of you are still, saved and you love the Lord and you still.
Yeah, both of us.
Church.
I don't know if that man was saved or he was just hiding in the church. I know he will watch this, but wherever you are, please, just surrender your life to Christ. I'm not here to attack you. I'm not here to attack anybody. I can't say he was born again.
Because you don't know.
That one now I don't know. The way things turned out, that's the reason I'm saying I can't say that he was really born again. So yeah, we continue to go to church. We were going to church, but now...
Same church?
Yeah, the same church. But now it changed. We go to church, anakaa huko nyuma. He was always a backbencher. Na kama si backbencher wa church, I remember he used to carry his tablet na gazeti. We are going to church. So kama si backbencher, ako huko nje kwa parking. Because now after the marriage, of course, mwaka wa kwanza there, we managed. The guy got a car. So this car was like now an idol. We could go to church at times. Amebeba magazeti, tablet yake, then kama hata ingia kanisa, atakaa huko nje kwa parking. Until I remember a friend of mine who approached and asked me, Naomi, why does your husband just come to church and akae kwa parking? Ama yeye anakuanga tu amewaleta kanisa. You know. Sincerely ilikuwa inaniuma, but anyway, what I could do is just talk to him. But it's something that he kept on doing and doing and doing. So maisha ikaendelea ya ndoa. So I got pregnant with our first child, a boy. And within that same, our first year in marriage is when I conceived, and we got our first child, a boy, a son. And now things started changing. The nature of this guy's work was sometimes he would not be home. He would be out there working. So he would go for maybe a month or a few weeks and come back. Life seemed to be just, can say, normal. And that's the normal marriage challenges. So life went on like that. The small marriage fights. And then before we knew it, a second born came in.
Oh, blessings. Double.
Yeah. That was in 2013. Now, before then, I really tried to work out a relationship between my husband and my dad, especially.
Okay.
Because these two people, there's a way hawakuwa wanaendana, you know. So I really tried to work out a relationship between them. But there's nothing as difficult as bringing two grown men together. It's really hard.
That's the second day in marriage. Or the third.
Yeah,
Close
the second.
Third.
Actually, when he bought a car, we even we could go visit our parents.
Oftenly.
Oftenly. Tulikuwa tunaenda. But now unapata, I'm seeing a distance, a huge distance between him and my dad. So in my mind najiuliza ama my dad anafeel ni kama alipokonywa mtoto, you know. And on the other end, this guy, it's like naye ni kama ana fight to have me, you know. So it's like I was in between a battle of two grown men, which I didn't know how to fight because I was caught in the middle.
Okay.
So I tried to bring them together, and somewhere along the way, somehow, it seemed to be working. I don't know who was pretending, I don't know, but it seemed to be working really. So now, kulikuwa na red flags. Kulikuwa na red flags even before our second child came in the picture. Huyu jamaa alikuwa anaenda, sometimes he would go, then when he comes home, he would get home at around 11. He will spend 1 hour in the parking. Guys who spend 1 hour in the parking, I don't know what you normally do in that parking.
I know, I saw a meme. I saw a meme somewhere. I will not quote that meme, that when a man is anakaa kwa parking for too long, there's something he's doing or he's deleting. Others are deleting messages, others are telling others good night. So yeah, I mean, just...
Yeah, it could stay 1 full hour plus. In fact, at times 2 hours in the parking lot on his phone. It's either he's on phone or unaenda tu.
Anyway, continue.
I'll not comment about that for now. Yeah, so yeah, niliona auto to red flags. He could stay in the parking really, really long. Unlike before, auto to changes kidogo kidogo. He would now baby his car instead of babying me, the wife, and the child, his family. Yeah, so this I could feel like a distance kanaenda tu, unajua kanaanzanga pole pole. I could really feel kalianza tu pole pole, like a joke. And then
did you guys like try counseling or best couple or a pastor or anything when you started to discover there's some changes? Like when you noticed there's some few changes in your marriage, like did you?
No, because
consult
the kind of a man that I was married to, si ule mtu wa kuambiwa.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm saying this a lot of confidence because angekuwa ule mtu wa kupewa mawaidha, wa kusikiza, we wouldn't be seated here today, by the way. My daughter will still be alive. So many things would have worked out different. Hakukuwa mtu wa kukalishwa chini at now you're giving him counseling. No. Ni wale watu anajua, he knows everything. So you can't tell me anything. And then now when money came into the picture, pesa kidogo, it feels like it's gotten there. So what do you have to tell me? Yeah. Ni wale wakwenda wame nini hivi funguo za gari, you know those kind of people. Yeah, so unfortunately he was that kind of a man. So we didn't go for any counseling or something.
Now you're at now you have your second born now.
Now I have my second born. My second born actually came as a total blessing. Because I remember somewhere before we got married, I lost the job that I had. Then I stayed in the house as a housewife, Yes, I had a house help, but I've also been a housewife and I know how it feels. Yeah, so it was really, really challenging. The way I am, the way I was brought up. I saw my mother work. Kama ni vitu hizi vidogo vya nyumba, she would, cater for those things. So here I am now, I'm a housewife. The kid needs diapers. Kwanza diapers za watoto vile zinaenda. In fact, I remember a certain point where, yes, my husband is there, but now his concentration, I don't know, is somewhere else. There's a time I used, napkins. Hizo napkins za watoto. Back in those days, I used napkin and kuna hizi there were nylon pants zenye ulikuwa unavalisha, ulikuwa unafunga mtoto napkin, then you put on the nylon pant actually. I remember there was a point, remember I'm a housewife now, there was a point I couldn't even afford that nylon pant for a baby. So what did I do? Nilirarua plastic bag. I have a husband who's working, who's driving. Yes, I know. Ilikuwa imefika hapo. So now nilianza kusikia ni kama nakwazika. So it reached a point, I remember even still before even my daughter came in the picture as a second born. I remember a time where gas imeisha kwa nyumba and this dude is busy doing, only God knows what he was doing out there. So my dad had to chip in. Mimi siko na kazi, I'm just a housewife. So he refills my gas. I'm still married. Though ilihit huyo jamaa vibaya sana, but sikukuwa na any other option. So my dad refilled the gas for me. My dad and my mom paid our house help. This guy is working. He has a nice job. I'm not blaming him. Probably if I was working or if I was bringing something on the table, things would have turned out differently.
But now you're raising kids.
Now I'm here raising a son.
Now a little girl.
Little girl now has come. My daughter was born on October 2013. 9th of October 2013. Actually, her birthday is approaching. We normally celebrate her birthday because Mungu alikuwa amemleta kwa hii dunia still. We normally celebrate to remember her, that God brought her in our lives. Yeah, so my daughter is now born. And I desired to work, I really desired to have my own money again. So my daughter came with a lot of blessings. Kuna ile wimbo inasemanga mtoto anakuja na sahani yake. Yeah, actually my daughter came with a plate of blessings. Because after the birth of my daughter, I got a job. And when I got that job, remember, maisha ilikuwa imenichapa. Kidogo nilikuwa nimepata experience how it feels to be a housewife and you do not have money. So my desire was, when I get that job, I'll be paying our house help so that I don't bother my parents. Hizi vitu vidogo vya nyumba, I'll do them. And then I'll go back to school now. Now I think I know who I want to be. I think now I know what I want to do.
At this point, how old are you?
Hey, that was in 2013. I was around 26. No. Yeah. I was actually around 23, 24.
Now you have experienced marriage already.
Sasa nimekuwa kwa ndoa, I know. Because I remember my son and my daughter wameachana na miaka 2 hivi. Yeah, I was around 24 hapo. So now my daughter is here. I get a job and I'm so excited to pay my house help. Hiyo mwezi nilikuwa nangoja ishe, yani nipate hiyo mshahara, I pay my house help now. Niache kusumbuana na wazazi, because that brought a lot of friction between me and my husband. Unajua ni aibu. Ni aibu hata kwake. How will he face the in-laws if they're supporting him? Back those days, ilikuwa aibu sana. Yeah, so I got my job, my first salary. I tithed them. I paid my house help, and that was so satisfying. Being able to pay my house help.
Move out now, you can go around your businesses and
without bothering anybody. Yeah, so few months after the job, after working on the job, I now figured out that it's time I go back to school. So now that's how I landed at St. Paul's University. So I went to St. Paul's, inquired, and I started my evening classes. It was really hectic because I'm working. My daughter is now 2 years. My son ako hapo ndio ameanza shule. It was not easy. So I could wake up early, prepare my child, tukisaidiana na house help, prepare for work, check if my kid is awake, the last born, if she's awake. Naacha nimemtayarishia maziwa nini, then I go to work. So nikitoka job jioni 5, I'll rush to town for classes. Remember tulikuwa tunaenda hapa church house. Yeah, I would go for evening classes then. Classes zilikuwa zinaisha hapo around 9. Times 8:30 hapo. Tena mimi ndio huyo nakimbia kwa nyumba. And remember that time my husband's job, unapata saa most of the times hata hayuko. So I don't know how I managed actually. I don't know.
So this time round you guys are in town. You guys moved from
No, we were living in Nairobi all that long.
Oh.
Yeah, we were living in Nairobi.
After the marriage,
Even
after the wedding, you guys.
Yeah, our wedding was in Nairobi.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, our wedding was in Nairobi, Starehe. Hapo Starehe. It's called African Brotherhood Church. That is where our wedding was. So tuliishi tu Nairobi. Yeah, so most of the times my husband hayuko, mi naenda shule and I coordinate. I could manage to run all those things at the same time and still come back home to be a wife and a mother. Yeah, so life was really good those days, despite the few challenges. But when I got my job, it didn't sync well with my husband. Hakufurahia. I think he felt challenged because I remember when I approached him to tell him that I now want to go to school again. He was against it. He was asking me, kwa nini kwanza usingoje to invest? Halafu, you can go later. And I told him no. I want to go now. I feel it's time I go now. Remember, in my mind, nakumbuka what I went through when I was a housewife. So I had this push to go back to school and make my life better. It's like I was preparing for future. So anyway, I went back to school. I remember taking a loan, SACCO, to pay for my school fees myself, because now this man is not supporting what I want to do, but I have to do it for my future and the future of my kids. I went to school. So the more I went to school, anaona nasonga, he felt challenged. So at some point, he was like, okay with it, okay in quotes. It reached a point sasa, hata akiendelea kupinga, it's not working. So me anyway, I went to school. And maisha ikasonga. So when my daughter was now 4 years, things changed. Things changed completely. I had not seen it coming. But that time we had bought some place somewhere in Emali. We had built a house, a nice house. I remember even nikipanda miti huko and all manner of fruits huko. Then we did a housewarming. But before we completed the house, something happened. This guy started changing. Kwanza he came and told me, the guy that you thought is my dad, the man that I introduced you as my dad, is not my biological dad.
How many years down the line now?
We were 6 years in marriage down the line. Imagine you're being told your father-in-law is not a biological father, you know.
After 6 years.
After 6 years of marriage, plus 2.5 years of dating. Plus 2.5 years of dating.
Hey, okay.
So this guy now starts behaving very strange. Alianza kuongea na vitu mimi sioni. It's like he was talking to ghosts, for lack of a better explanation. And he gave me a warning. If I ever tell it to anybody, whatever he talks to will kill me. Hii ghost anasema ndiye real babake sasa, babake wa kumzaa. I've never been so afraid like that in my life. Mtu anaongea na kitu na ukioni, and they're having a conversation, but mimi sisikii hiyo kitu inasema nini. Niye anaongea nayo, mimi sioni.
Wow, that sounds like a movie.
I know. Man, Nigerian movies sometimes zinakuanga zinatuelekeza mahali. My story itself is like a movie.
So this would happen at your site?
Yes. The way we are seated here. Anasema mzee amekuja, nieke match. Mzee amekuja. Who is mzee? Mzee ni the biological dad now. He? So, nikamuuliza, and who is mzee now? Akaniambia, my biological dad, anaitwa so and so, is late. Okay? So, mimi ameanza kunitokelezea juzi, ananiongelesha na kila kitu ananiambia ni ya ukweli. Mimi sijawahi ogopa hivyo in my life. I called his mother to come. That was an emergency. And the mother came, and I asked the mother, your son is telling me that man I've thought is the father is not. Baba yake mzazi ni mtu tofauti, anaitwa so and so. Let me not use the names. But he was someone during Kenyatta's time. And the mother confirmed to be true, to my surprise. And the mother was so happy and proud of the son. In fact, she came up with a name. Akasema, my son akona mtetezi. Mtoto wa mtetezi. That was the name of the ghost. That's ghost of a father. Akamwita mtoto wa mtetezi. So I was so scared. I do remember this very well. That was in 2016. Then, somewhere in 2016, August, this guy plans a journey to go to Mombasa with his mother and somebody, I don't know. And they were led to go to Mombasa by this ghost of a person.
Mm-hmm.
So me, I was to be left home. Me, I'm still working. My daily schedules zinaendelea tu. Mm-hmm. But I was not supposed to go to Mombasa. Mi nilibaki. Niliambiwa wewe unabaki. Wewe ndio utabaki ukiangalia watoto. We will be gone for 3 days. I remember this so well because this is the thing that changed everything about marriage, the marriage that we had, and everything about that sweet family we had.
Mm.
So they go to Mombasa, guided by that ghost. So nikamuuliza, Mombasa mnaenda kufanya nini? So he tells me, kuna watu wakipita huko nyumbani kwetu Shago, now where is born, wanasema wanaona nyoka inapita hapo kwa barabara, tunaenda kutolewa hiyo nyoka. Kwetu mimi sijawahi ona mganga when I've never seen a witch being brought home when I was growing up. So to me it was something so new. And I could not hold this guy back and prevent him from going. He was so determined, they left. Kwanza saa hii ako na mtetezi, angesikiza anything. And now he is given me a warning not to tell anybody that he's talking to something strange. You know. So I'm also in fear that I might be killed. And then someday, before they went to Mombasa, I remember he called me on phone and in our conversation, he asked me, kwa nini wewe unaomba hivyo?
Oh, okay.
Na juu sasa ndio ikuja kufika hiyo time, this guy kwenda kanisa kwake ilikuwa imeisha. Actually, it's like I was going to church with the kids. In fact, I remember those days, now we had 2 cars, yeah. So he came and took the other car pia, akaenda, he went and parked it huko Emali, so that in case nipate hiyo idea ya kwenda na hiyo gari kanisani, nisiende. But anyway, mimi tulienda tu na watoto. You know, that time tutoto ni tudogo, tuko hapa tunafuatana. But we used to go to church anyway. Even without his presence, we used to go.
Now, will you tell people, did you ever share with anyone at church at any point?
I couldn't. I was given stern warning.
So, wewe ulinyamaza tu?
Mimi nilinyamaza. Ile uoga nilikuwa nayo, hata singesema kitu. Hata singeambia mtu yeyote. Not even my family. The things that I'm telling you here right now, viewers, most of the things my family have no idea what I was going through. Yeah, so many things happened in my life and my family have no idea. So they will also be seeing for the first time some of the things that I'm mentioning here. Yeah, so singeambia mtu. I couldn't share with anybody. I'm fearing for my life, number one. And then this guy was a brainwasher. This man brainwashed me. What? I sit today and when I remember how I was brainwashed, hata huwa siamini ni mimi, you know. I was brainwashed. I remember him telling me, wewe unajua, today if I'm not there living with these kids, watoto wangu watakuwa chokora, you know. He used to tell me that you can't live without me. Those were his kind of statements. This man made me believe that my dad is a terrible person. Imagine someone comes to it's like they come to tell you something different about your family, the people who have brought you up. And it's like you're buying the idea. Sasa nikichanganya na the way my dad was strict, you know, I will start thinking, ama ndo sababu daddy alikuwa mkali hivyo, you know. Now combine, unaona hii relationship yangu na my dad already haikukuwa tight, you know. So now this man comes and tells me bad things about my father, and it's like I'm buying the idea. Mama ni kweli. Na yenyewe siwezi ishi bila huyo mtu. Hapo sijui ni I don't know if that was really love. I don't know what to call it. So mimi I'm in fear. Watu wameenda Mombasa. They go to Mombasa. There were 3 of them. The third person, I don't know, but there's someone who I normally think that was the person. I will be revealing that as the story continues. And I have my reasons to think like that. So when they left from Mombasa, wakakuwa mteja. Those people were unreachable on phone, all of them. Him and the mother. Remember the third person, sijui. That time sikuwa najua ni nani. So they go to Mombasa, wamekuwa wateja. Unless this guy calls me, singempigia simu. So wameenda Mombasa, wamefika, siku ya kwanza ikaisha. Walikuja kupiga the following day usiku. So I'm here worried, did something bad happen? And then I'm not sure huko Mombasa walienda exactly wapi. Sikujua. So now he calls me ananiambia, hey, mko sawa? Yeye tuko sawa. Sawa, sisi tuko huko na mahali tumeingizwa. That is what he told me. Mahali tumeingizwa. Wacha tu. Sisi hatupatikani, I'll be calling you. So anyway, they did whatever they did in Mombasa. Sijui ni nini walienda kufanya Mombasa. I don't know. But they came back after 3 days. It was a road drive.
Oh, they were driving.
Yeah.
Mombasa.
Yes. So they come back. And when they came back, this guy comes with very funny photos. They were funny and very strange at the same time.
What?
He came with a photo of uteo. Uteo, kama imewekwa, uteo is winnow, if I'm not wrong. In English, it's winnow. Hii ya kushake, whatever. He comes with a photo of that uteo, kama imewekwa tu mashilingi, 1 bob. Kakitu kalikuwa kamefungwa, katambara ka red kamefungwa. There was a bottle with some red stuff, which is marked with dates. Then there was some nails, zimekatwa makucha, yani zimekatwa ziko hapo ndani.
Hold it right there. Ladies and gentlemen, where there is a test, there will be also a testimony. You cannot afford to miss the second part of this story. We want to hear what happened after that. Go ahead and like, go ahead and subscribe and share. Invite your friends and tell them what's going on here. We'll be right back.